Alright, and hey there, Prox Gaming Crew, and this is Proxify here, and I'm back once again. And this time, for what this type of video is going to be all about, is heading into another one of these said top 10 videos. And this one in particular is going to be for the Nintendo 3DS. And with all that being said in mind, let's get right on into with that said top 10, and let's start things off with the first game being starting at number 10, being with Monster Hunter Stories for the 3DS. And I do have to say, coming onto that game and doing a said type of live stream for it was really fun, and we made it all the way up to, I want to say, around within that Cat Island area. And I know that we kind of went and taken on a few different bosses here and there within that part, but there was one boss in particular within that area that was giving us a little bit of a problem. And unfortunately, I think that was the one type of boss that was kind of doing a lot of different type of said poison damage and whatnot, that was really putting a bothersome within our time with that said battle there. But anyways, even though that I didn't really go and complete the game all the way through, and I have been kind of playing that game kind of on my off time, I still have been really enjoying from it. From the past highlights from it, I do have to say that the boss battles were really good. Heading into some of those other different said other destinations that we went through from before, the outfits are really cool to actually have a really nice type of design for them. And you want to make sure that when you're actually heading into some of those different type of shops and buying those type of said outfits, just kind of make sure to have at least what type of attribute that's actually going to somewhat help you within your way of some of these different boss battles, because there's different type of effect type of things that will show up within the game that could really kind of put a danger into you if you're not all that too careful with it. But however, let's just go and move off into the next game, which I want to go and actually talk to you guys about, and that of course is going to be with number 9, and that is with a Japanese copy of Digimon, and this is going to be known as Decode. Now, this one, I want to say, I haven't really dabbled into this game all that too much, but I know that this was actually a Digimon game that was never really meant to come over here to North America. But however, since I got a region-free DS and I was able to go and actually try it out for a little bit with myself, it was actually not all that too bad. And I'm sort of coming back into the Digimon realm and trying out some other ones. I have played through Digimon Cyber Sleuth, so that was kind of like the first of many games to kind of bring me back into the whole Digimon atmosphere and see what that's going to be all about. So unfortunately, I can't really go and give off too much amount of my thoughts on the actual said game itself. But I believe if you can go and find a translation patch somewhere within the game, you can also kind of throw that onto the said Digimon game as well too, and you should be able to have a much type of better experience if you don't know how to read the Japanese text though. But for the next one that I do have is going to be with Paper Mario Sticker Star. Now, I do have a lot of things to go and talk to you guys about for this one, because if you guys remember, we have actually went and done this game as well too as an actual set live stream series back in the day. And I have to say that even though that it is kind of like the black sheep of the Paper Mario games, it was still a great game to come back to, because it such has like that nostalgic feel. For me personally is that I know that most of you guys don't really like the whole sticker feature aspect for it, but for me personally is that I really did like it as well. Got to kind of see that like within your inventory is that it was basically just a sticker book, and kind of throwing in different types of stickers to kind of use those as like your way of attacking some of the different set bosses and whatnot. Finding the said different type of like special items as well to kind of like go through some of the different type of hidden things to kind of like boost up more of like Mario's HP was also pretty cool. Like I really did like that bowling one where you were able to kind of like use like the said bowling ball and kind of use it as like some sort of like a bowling pin type of course and go through all of that. Even like I want to say I think there was also like some sort of like waterfall area that you were able to go and check for one of those type of said type of HP boosters as well, and I think you needed like some sort of special thing for that too. I don't know if it was like a faucet or something that you needed, but I'll probably have to think about that a little bit later or something, or kind of put like a blip on into within this said video. But either way, still really enjoyed Paper Mario Sticker Star. That Bowser battle was still really fun, and I got to go and do through all that. But however, let's just go and move on into the next game. That said, next game that I actually do have is with Metroid Samus Returns. And now, as well, I did do this as a said Let's Play back when I went and did this on the channel, but never meant to go through the whole entire process of the said game. I think, unfortunately, this type of said Let's Play series is not around anymore because of the way of how I had to stop it, unfortunately. Like, I think just within, like, the tail end of the actual said game, because I couldn't really continue onwards because of just how annoying a said type of subsection was within the area. But either way, I really did like how this game got like repackaged, because I believe this game was originally, I think, Metroid 2, right? And then they kind of just repackaged the game and kind of made it into a much more type of better version of the game itself. And it actually looked really nice. And having to go and use like the different type of like tilt control. Well, I don't think it was tilt controls, but kind of using like your L and R buttons to kind of like adjust the different type of ways of how you could set up for the different missiles and kind of do all those special type of puzzles and whatnot, and also having to go and try to battle out with some of those different type of said bosses that you had to go and use like the special melee attacks. That was actually really cool, and I thought that was really awesome on that one. Now to go and move off to the next game, which I do want to go and talk to you guys about, is that I do have with Kirby Extra Epic Yarn. Now, I know that with me having this game on the channel, I didn't really do the 3DS version, but I did more so of actually getting into with the Wii version. And now I think there's like a little bit of some extra things that Extra Yarn does have compared to the Wii version. I think that's like that Devil Run mode, which I thought that was really interesting with. And that's also something of a challenge if you ever want to go to experience, because there's some areas with some of those devilish type of modes that can be a little bit annoying sometimes on that one. And then moving off to, I think we are heading right off into, I want to say, the number 5 area for what these type of games are going to be, and that is going to have to be with the Yokai games. And yes, I do have Yokai Watch 2, and then of course I do have Yokai Watch 3 that I do have, and this is actually a sealed version of Yokai Watch 3, and I'm very happy to have one of those. But just let you guys know that those two said Yokai games are very, very expensive. That Yokai Watch 3 game was like really high up. I think it was like about like $600 Canadian, I think, for how much I had to go and pay for that. So that is some pretty wild type of stuff right there. But yeah, like I know that I've been through most of the different type of said Yokai games on the channel. I think currently right now we're actually still doing Yokai Watch 2 as an actual said live stream on my 3DS capture that I'm still doing at this point in time right now. And now I can't really give off too much information about what I could go and say from what my past experience was from the Yokai Watch 2, because I haven't really went and completed the game all the way within there. But for Yokai Watch 3, I could say that I have went and beat the game all the way through. That was really fun. Got to go and try out with that raft mini game, which I thought that was a little bit interesting, but it was something cool to go and see, to head through other different type of parts of the town, and got to do some other things around within there. Got to see some of the other special newer yokai, which I think here in Yokai Watch 3, I don't believe you can do any type of evolutions within the game or not. I could be wrong, but I know that there was like some sort of like I think there was also some sort of game where it was kind of like a mystery dungeon kind of thing, where you're able to like go and search for like different special like goodies and stuff around within there. I know that I kind of spent my time a little bit throughout that type of said area just to be looking for some of the better type of yokais. But yeah, like the final boss battle was really cool. Like it was kind of like a mafia style related type of game. So like for me, being a big fan of like mafia related type of stuff, you know, like play it through like the Godfather game, or going through like the said mafia games back then, having something like that with like a little bit more of a kid friendly type of yokai within there, within all that mafia stuff, was actually really cool to go and see around within all that stuff there. But now we can actually go and move right off into the next one, which I actually do have. Now these are going to be said 2 different Zelda games, so unfortunately these are going to be a little bit of a tiebreaker within each other. But for right now we have Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds, and also of course we do have Legend of Zelda with the Majora's Mask, which this is the remake of the actual said one that was for the N64. And I have to say, those two games are absolutely fun for like remastered games, or I should say remake games within themselves, because Link Between Worlds was such a much better type of like version of how originally Link to the Past was. And like they went all out on that game, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Like using the type of like wall features to get through like certain type of like cracks in the wall to head through like all these type of little different special secret passageways and stuff. I think there was also like a really interesting type of gimmick where I believe you could also go and do like baseball within Zelda, which I thought that was really wild as well. I think that was more so when you went into like the Laurel area, not in like the regular Hyrule, but when you go into like the next dimension within there. But yeah, if you have never went an experience with Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds, I highly recommend that you go and play that game. That is so much fun. Now, it's just that the one annoying thing within that game, though, however, is the rent feature, because unfortunately within the game, you kind of have to rent out items from Ravio, and I think there will be other times where I think you will be able to actually personally go and buy them out of your way, but it will be costing you more money rather than having to go and just rent out those items there. But also too with Majora's Mask, I really did like that game. Like for me, back on the GameCube, because I originally played it on the GameCube, was that I have to say the remake type of style of it was really nice. All the different areas were really fun to come back to, have a little bit of a much better quality of life within the game. I can't remember too much exactly on what some of the other differences were within there, but I do have to say it was a great game as well, and I really did enjoy it. And then moving off towards into the number 3 spot, we actually do have is Pokemon Ultra Moon, and of course with Ultra Sun, which I don't have with me. Unfortunately, I do have Ultra Moon, which I was able to find within my collection here. But I do have to say, those games for what Gen 7 were amazing. Much better than what the original Sun and Moon games were. You actually have a little bit of some extra other things that were a part of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, like with the extra type of like totem stickers that you were able to go and find, which I believe they weren't really a thing in the original game, I don't think. But those were just able there for you to get like special type of like other like, I guess, stronger type of Pokemon that were a part within Alola or something like that. Like type of like totem Pokemon features. But also too, the Z Power moves was a really cool thing. Hopefully they can at least bring that back at some point. I know that currently right now we are getting with Pokemon Legends ZA as like an actual said way of bringing back Megas. So maybe at some point they could at least somewhat implement back with the Z crystals, because like I know that Pokemon Champions is also something that is going to be coming around the corner, I think, for next year, right? So maybe they'll bring out all the different type of special gimmicks that were all part within some of the past Pokemon games and just put it out onto there, which I believe you do have to use Pokemon Home for a majority of your said Pokemon for what Pokemon Champions is going to be. But now we could actually go and move into the second of our different type of said top 10 type of games that are going to be here for the 3DS, and that is going to be with Mario Kart 7. And yes, if you guys don't know, we are of course doing Mario Kart 7 on the channel right now as we speak, and I do have to say that, man, this game has been so much fun to come back to. Now I remember I spent countless amount of hours trying to grind out on every single type of 100% that I could do within this game, and unfortunately the one thing that has basically been stopping me so far within that time is with the gold steering wheel. I cannot do that for the life of me because I do not like the I think what's it known as, like the gyro controls or whatever it's known as, or gyro controls. They're not really the most funnest type of thing within the actual set game itself. There is like some areas within some courses that are pretty nice and good and useful for it, but then when you kind of think about it later on down the road throughout all the other different type of courses that you're trying to 100% complete, like with the actual steering wheel itself, it can get a little bit too crazy. But yeah, that's the only one thing that has kind of put a stop to me on trying to get that there. And then lastly, for what I am going to go and do here for number 1, and it was actually a beginning type of game throughout the 3DS lifespan, was over here, and that of course is going to have to be with Mario 3D Land. And yes, this was such a fun type of cool game to get introduced into like the whole 3D aspect, even though that later on the 3D aspect didn't really seem to be all that too usable afterwards, because like, if you guys don't know, there was a lot of stories going around that like it was causing like different people with eye strain and whatnot. So unfortunately the 3DS like didn't get heavily used with the actual set 3D itself. Like, there is some things like in some games that do kind of have like a cool type of 3D effect. This one, I want to say, for 3D Land was actually somewhat of those type of games that did actually kind of utilize the 3D aspect that was in some type of cool ways for it. But either than that, like, I really did enjoy throughout the main story. I do have to say though is that if you do want to get into the post game though of 3D Land, have fun, because those areas are going to be excruciatingly annoying, much more annoying than how you would actually be able to handle back in like the Super Mario World days. Like, these ones here are like almost kind of like in conjunction with those two. But like, I do have to say is that just be prepared for when you go into those, because there's a lot of different type of coins that you will have to go and try to pick up for those said other different post worlds, and that is just trying to get all the way over to where I want to say where Dry Bowser is going to be. But anyways, that's going to end off here for the 3DS collection. Hope you guys did enjoy that. I know that I may have probably talked a little bit too fast, I think, in some parts, but I just wanted to make sure if we have enough good time for this entire video itself, so that I can go and talk about the things that I need to go and say here. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one for one of these said top 10s, and or even top 5s for that matter. And of course, peace.